In 1994, Congress passed the Violence Against Women Act to address the problems of domestic violence, sexual assault, and stalking. This landmark legislation created new federal crimes and provided resources to help states, tribes, and local communities focus on victim safety and offender accountability. These resources have made a real difference. Cook County, Illinois is transforming domestic violence prosecution by drawing victims into the judicial process.
Our jurisdiction is Cook County, which is comprised of Chicago and the surrounding suburbs. In Cook County, you have about 5.5 million people, and approximately 3 million people live in Chicago. And certainly in domestic violence, we find that the groups involved cut across racial and economic lines.
It was definitely the awareness and realization of Mr. Devine, the service community, and the advocacy community that we needed to look at domestic violence cases different. What was it that we could do, all of us as a team, with different perspectives, different ideas about DV, not necessarily with the same ideology, but with the same goal, to make these victims really become a part of the system, become a part of the process, and feel that they were being served and getting the service they needed.
There's a number of assignments that judges can have in the Circuit Court of Cook County, in any jurisdiction where they preside. But and in Cook County, I've had a number of assignments. But this is the one assignment I have found that as a judge, you feel that you really can make a difference in people's lives. You know, and especially in domestic violence, in the misdemeanor division, we know that this is the first step to intrafamily homicide.
The challenge was clear. To truly intervene, victims must be drawn into the justice system, not left to negotiate complex civil and legal proceedings on their own. Prosecutors and advocates realized that to change this, it was time to start working together.
I think if you talk to any prosecutor, any police officer or advocate, one of the biggest hurdles that we all have is trying to get that victim to, one, come to court or participate in the criminal justice system as a way of possibly breaking that cycle and getting help not only for the offender, but for themselves as well. Too often they don't know that we have advocates here, victim witness here, we have a career resource center here, things that could make their life easier, that they could get counseling for themselves or their children, that they have educational and job opportunities all in one central place, so that this wasn't a place, a cold, uncaring place, but rather there were people here that wanted to help, that were together as a team, and that were willing to help, and that was all here.
The TAC stands for Target Abuse Calls, and what that is, we take the most serious cases out of all our domestic violence cases, which there's 50,000 of them a year. We wind up with approximately 2,000 cases, and we put them in the TAC team. And the TAC team consists of 2 prosecutors. We have 4 investigators. We work in teams, 2 male, female teams. And we have 2 people from the advocates, and we have 2 court advocates.
Where we going first, Sarah?
1603. Yeah.
16th floor?
Yep. Offender in custody placed under arrest on signed complaint after victim stated she was kicked and thrown on the floor after a verbal altercation. Offender placed in custody.
You know, we have the very first contact with them. So the attorneys will write up a attorney request form, and they'll put on there, they might need a subpoena served, or they might need a witness located. They might want you to go out and interview somebody or gather up some evidence. So that's what we do. We go out and make that initial first contact with the victim. We come out to check on you, make sure you're all right. Yeah, great.
Yeah. Everything's going all right?
You know, I mean, when you first get there, they're leery, they're scared of you. They don't know what you want, you know. We let them know, hey, we're here to help you.
When you go up to the room, the people are going to come and get you. They're going to take you aside before you go to the judge or anything, and they're going to talk to you about everything like that. And these people will try to assist you so that you can make a good decision about what to do for the future.
Then we explain the program to them. We give them a copy. Each person gets a copy. We also have it in Spanish and we have it in Polish. You know, we do everything we can to get them into court and let them know we're there to help.
TAC team members are dedicated to two common goals: victim safety and offender accountability. Through VAWA, the TAC program has established a system of effective relationships that have made these goals attainable.
I've actually been here about 7 years now, and I began as a Hull House advocate, and I remember how the flow of communication between the different members of the court personnel and our office wasn't always very efficient. And now you have where everyone's working together, everyone is speaking about the same cases and addressing the same complaints, but in different respects. We now make sure that all the issues that we can possibly address are addressed before that complainant leaves us. And it also means that the complainant has access to all of these services up front, where before they may or may not speak to an advocate, they may or may not have an opportunity to link with a civil attorney. The state's attorney's office may or may not have been able to spend as much time with them on specific issues because they were trying to address the criminal case. So there may be a lot of issues now that we can address not only before they even come to court because an investigator has come out to speak to them, but even throughout the process and even after with our follow-up.
While there is a range of services available for victims, there is also a wide range of options for judges to help them ensure offender accountability.
There's a menu of options for the judge to choose a particular sentence for that defendant, what that defendant needs, and there's an array of choices that a judge has to choose in a sentencing order. As I mentioned before, whether it's in a misdemeanor, 364 days in jail, there's a period of supervision, conditional discharge, or probation, in which the judge can also sentence that defendant to complete domestic violence counseling, which is a very important tool, and domestic violence counseling can be anywhere from 16 to 25 weeks. An alcohol and drug evaluation, if it's found that that particular individual needs alcohol or drug counseling, then it's a part of that order that they complete a program. Usually it's outpatient, but if that defendant does not complete it satisfactorily, then also the judge does have the option to sentence that defendant to a period of incarceration, where in the Cook County Department of Corrections they have an in-house alcohol drug program. Same for mental health evaluation and counseling. If there's a need for that counseling, one even besides domestic violence counseling, other issues, then that can be a part of the sentence, as well as parenting classes, because of course we do get cases where the domestic battery is committed on the child. Also, we have another option called the Sheriff's Work Alternative Program, where that is more or less day labor, and it's conducted by the Cook County Sheriff's Department, which can also be an option for a judge in sentencing.
The return rate for victims to court or to go to court cases is 20%. In TAC, when we first started out and presently, we have a return rate between 75 and 80%. So we are reaching more victims. In addition, our conviction rate on these cases is 85%. Domestic violence has such a rippling effect throughout all of society. So while it might seem to most people, you're only affecting a small number of cases, no, we're not. We're affecting lives. We're affecting numbers of lives, numbers of people, and future generations, so that it's a wise investment, and that only through these federal funds and through these programs and these that allow us to be innovative, that allow us to really become together as partners, are we really going to be able to make a true difference in the long run.